in an autumn limb, the Dharma in the floating cloud, the Sangha bodies everywhere. My true home is right here. Breathing in, flowers are blooming. Breathing out, I am aware that bamboo are swaying. My mind is free and I enjoy every moment. Here is the Pure Land. The Pure Land is here. I smile in mindfulness and dwell in the present moment. The Buddha is seen in an autumn limb. The Dharma is a floating cloud. The Sangha body everywhere. My true home is right here. Breathing in, flowers are blooming. Breathing out, I am aware that bamboo are swaying. My mind is true and I enjoy every moment.
I have a question for you. How many of you here wake up and you feel happy? Wow, a lot. Yeah, Thầy said that happiness just comes from something is very simple. It's like you wake up and you see, you're aware of your eyes still clear. It's a happy moment. Your health still healthy. Your leg still healthy. You can walk on the earth. It's a miracle. And your arms still strong. You can take care of yourself and take care of your loved one. This is a happy moment. Yeah.
In that spirit, let us sing happiness. I think many of us know how to sing that song. Happiness
is here and now. I have dropped my worries, nowhere to go, nothing to do, no longer in a hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries, somewhere to go, something to do, but I don't need to hurry.
again.
Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries, nowhere to go, nothing to do, no longer in a hurry.
sister recommend 24 simple things. Simple things. Happiness can come from simple things. And I just want to ask the question from the organizing team. Just check in whoever have like your headphone on. Is the sound okay for helping improve the sound? Wonderful. Be able to hear the sound. Simple thing, but can make us happy. So simple thing. I get my joy from the simple things coming from the earth. I get my joy from the sun that shines and the water speaks to me. Listen to the wind and listen to the water. Hear what they say. Singing hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Singing hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. One more time. I get my joy from the simple things coming from the earth. I get my joy from the sun that shines and the water speaks to me. Listen to the wind and listen to the water. Hear what they say. Singing hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Singing hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Thank you, dear Sangha. So at this point, I invite the monastic to come up here to offer chanting. So we gather again 15 minutes early and we can sing some more songs. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sister.
So good morning, everyone. How's everyone's doing? Good. So once again, please turn off all your cell phone or put on silence, and we'll begin the Dharma talk with the monastic offering a chant. contemplation before chanting. The Sangha is invited to come back to our breathing so that our collective energy of mindfulness will bring us back together as an organism, going as a river with no more separation. Let the whole Sangha breathe as one body, chant as one body, listen as one body, and transcend the boundaries of a delusive self, liberating from the superiority complex, the inferiority complex, and the equality complex. From the depth of understanding, the flower
Good morning. Can you hear me okay from the back? Well, we need a bell master. We have a... I don't know if the bell team has someone designated for the bell master. Now we have two. Thank you, sisters. So dear community, let us begin by listening to 3 sounds of the bell. We let go of our thinking, bring our mind back to our body, following our in-breath and out-breath, have a slight smile on our face, let go of all tension as we hear the sounds of the bell. So thank you, dear community, for your presence. Welcome again to the Order of Interbeing Retreat 2025. Today is the 25th of April, and we are gathering in the Great Togetherness Meditation Hall at Blue Cliff Monastery in New York. This is also the land of the Lenape people. My name is Brother Pháp Khôi. I go by PK, and my pronouns are he and him. It's very joyful to see so many familiar faces, some new ones. We have some elders amid the community. It's very precious to have their presence with us, both lay and monastics. I like to start with maybe giving you a recap of what has happened at Blue Cliff since the OI retreat of last year, if I may. So after the OI retreat, we had a late spring activities. Usually begins with a trip to Canada. And by the way, I also would like to welcome our Canadian siblings. Your presence means a lot to us, especially this year. You took a chance upon us and crossed the borders. We appreciated you a lot. Thank you for making the effort. And so usually in May, we have an annual trip to Canada to share the teaching with the sanghas there. And then at home, we have Vesak, Buddha's birthday celebration. And last year, we also restarted our BIPOC retreat with a weekend retreat for people of color. And then in the summer, we had our usual retreat for wake up for young people, family retreat for children and teens, and a Vietnamese retreat for Vietnamese speakers. Lots of activities and a lot of people showed up. I remember Thay said every time the Sangha comes together, it should be like a festival. And if you've been to all of the retreats here, you will see they're like festivals. And the OI retreat is usually the one that sparks it every year for us. And then in the fall, we had a trip to the northeastern states, visiting our local sanghas. We were aware that many of you had come here, but we've hardly ever been up there. So we decided to have that trip. There were 8 of us, 4 sisters and 4 brothers. We took 3 weeks to travel 5 states. We excluded New York on purpose because we want to make, at some point in the future, we want to make that trip just for New Yorkers. We know we have a lot of sanghas in New York State. And we had a lot of fun. We learned a lot on that trip. We met a lot of new people. We were quite surprised that many have not been here. But yet, I felt very, very humble and touched and deeply appreciative for those new friends who just met us for the first time and took us in, housed us, and fed us. I remember in Northampton, a practitioner we just met, and I guess before that even, she already volunteered to house 4 strange monks in her home. And we ended up making great friendship, have tea times, and she drove us everywhere in Northampton. And of course, we have Sangha friends who also we've known before, also housed us and fed us and took us everywhere. There's so many highlights on that trip, but I would share one that also touched me deeply, and that was I went to a gathering, just a small group of people at the basement of a church, and everyone brought food. Potluck. We did a slow walking and just have simple dinner together. It meant a lot to me just to see that at the monasteries you have a lot of conditions for the practice, and I know out there it takes a lot of effort to organize, to come together, even to find a place, and just to do simple things as having mindful steps outside the church grounds and then go to the basement and just open up, heat up foods that our friends brought and then shared. It was a beautiful moment to witness that, and I felt so touched and reassured that outside the monastery grounds there are countless sanghas, countless practitioners practicing the Dharma, practicing the teachings. And so even now when I think back, I can't help but feel joyful and feel supported. Of course, another highlight is just to see the Sangha in action. Usually when you're here, you will see us in action, the monastics. But then when we're in your environment, we get to witness, we get to be the guests, and then witness how the Sangha comes together, organize days of mindfulness, designating drivers, do everything. Food, preparation, event, organizing, making announcements, giving Dharma talks, giving sharing, question and answers. And I have hope, that the practice can flourish in the local environment. And so we had a lot of fun also. We had hikings and picnics. We also had a chance to visit universities and colleges along the way, meeting young people who were very enthusiastic in practicing mindfulness. So all in all, it was a very fruitful and joyful trip. And I remember the monastic had sort of like a feedback session over tea of how each of us experienced that trip. Because I think for us that was like maybe the first trip that most of us in that group were on. And one thing that we learned that we also had a chance to understand and build the bonds between ourselves. As you know, when you hear, you see that there's a sister's Hamlet and the brother's Hamlet, and most of the time we actually practice very separately. We come together in the mornings for sitting meditation and for walking meditation, but other activities we do separately. And it's not because we don't like each other, it's because each side has different needs. And so sometimes we like to be together, sometimes we like to be separate, so that we can do our own thing. And then on Thursdays, the brothers host, sisters come over for meals and activities, and Sunday, the sisters host and the brothers come. But when we're on tour, we're all together. Except in some places we were separated by housing, but we're actually on the trip all 3 weeks, and we learn so much from one another. We learn our habit energies, we learn to be patient, lots of discoveries. And so not only we learn from our lay community, but we learn from each other, just being on that trip. And then we also had a trip to Toronto recently to be with some sanghas and sangha members. I also get to witness the sangha in action there too. And mind you, Canada has very strong sanghas, very strong sangha culture, both the Vietnamese community and the Canadian side. And so Canadian trip, the retreats here, and then we had fall came, we had Thay's Memorial Weekend in the winter, toward the end of the winter. And during the winter, the nunnery building manifested, the structure manifested. We also manifested 2 young novice monks during the winter, one before and one after. And then just recently, in spring, we hosted a lot of college students, different colleges that came for the weekends. And then there was the co-naming of the street in New York City, which you might have heard of or seen on YouTube. That happened due to the large part to the effort, I would say, persistent effort, and lots of hard work by Leora Amira, a member of the New York Sangha. She's somewhere in our midst. I think it took around 3 years with lots of emails, a lot of organization, getting signatures, everything, culminating that event on April 11th on West 109th Street. Now it's also Thich Nhat Hanh Way. So I'm sure it will be a destination point for people. We had 2 guest monks, one from Denmark and one from Atlanta, that used to be in our Sangha. They had a road trip on the Northeast. Before they stopped here, that was the place they went to. Thich Nhat Hanh Way, just take a photo, commemorative photo. Okay, a little bit more on recaps. Abroad, there would be, this year will be the 4th anniversary of Maple Village in Montreal. And then it's also in Canada, outside of Toronto, there was the birth of a new lay-led center, which some of us had to skip the co-naming event in New York to go and support the opening of the new center outside of Toronto. it has yet been named. So we kept calling it New Center. It was a beautiful place. I hope when you have a chance, you can visit it. It's in a town called Tiny, Ontario. And it's by the edge of one of the Great Lakes. And then Plum Village just had a grand ceremony where 59 people received the 14 trainings. And last week in Magnolia, they also had 9 new OI members. And I heard that Australia also is going to have some new OI members. And in Plum Village, there were also 19 brand new fully ordained monks and 21 fully ordained nuns. I got this from Plum Village website, so you can fact check me. There were also happily 54 new Dharma teachers, monastics and lay. And in our neck of the wood, Canada had 2. One in Toronto and one in Ottawa. I will save, I will not say their names so you can find them for yourselves. So one in Toronto and one in Ottawa. And then Mexico has 1. Brazil has 1. The West Coast, I put down in Montana. I wasn't sure if Montana is part of the West Coast. But they have 10 altogether. And then our East Coast, our neck of the wood, we have 6. And half of them are in Pittsburgh. What's happening in Pittsburgh? Laughing River Sangha, 3. I trust that Deborah Brooks is in Laughing River Sangha. Because I saw the list and I didn't see the location. But, oops, I just said your name, didn't I? And then North Carolina is 1 from Deep River Sangha. Northampton, River Valley, and then used to be the Berkshire, but now it's the Hudson Valley. We had 1 brand new OI. So congratulations to all of our new Dharma teachers. And then so these are the good news that we had in the past year. And the good news to come is in a few weeks, we'll have Vesak, another Buddha's birthday. And we also have an ordination for 3 brand new novices, 2 young men and 1 young woman. So if you have time, please come and attend, or you can attend them online on April 10th. Did I say April? Sorry, May 10th. May 10th. And then also, next year will be the 60th anniversary of the Order of Interbeing. And I heard Plum Village is planning a big celebration. So if you're able to come, please register. Otherwise, come here. We should do something here too to celebrate. So I share my experience and our experience with the trip to the Northeast. I also like to say that I saw a lot of harmony. I saw how Sangha members practice flowing as a river, and these are needed qualities to help build the Sangha. Let us enjoy one sound of the bell. Well, one thing I witnessed, though, is that there were not a lot of Dharma teachers in our Sangha. And I know that we have a lot of seasoned OI members. So that could be something to keep in mind for our sangha, to see, to look around to see in our sangha who I'm sure we all have the capacity to build sangha, but to see who is ready, who is devoted, who we can nominate to receive the lamp. It's not a status symbol. The lamp is not a status symbol. The lamp is an encouragement, a symbol encouragement for us to, an acknowledgement for us to continue our sangha building effort. Because as Dharma teacher, we don't stop learning. We still continue to learn. And Sangha building is a very important attribute in the Plum Village practice, as you all know this already. There was an account of this of Ananda, the Buddha's attendant for many years. One day, the Buddha and Ananda was enjoying the view of the Ganges River. And Venerable Ananda shared with the Buddha this. He said something along the line of, "Dear teacher, how wonderful it is to know that half of the holy life involves having a good friend, good friendship." And to his surprise, the Buddha answered, "No, Ananda, it's the whole of the holy life, not just half." And what that means is to be able to have a friend, a spiritual friend on the path, is the practice. It's your whole practice. It's our whole practice. Because with them, we have support. And so building Sangha is, in fact, building good relationships, good friendship, companionship, comradeship with everyone. We try our best. Because those are the building blocks to build a strong and harmonious Sangha. So with that, I like to take some time just to share with you, and as a way of reviewing, reminding one another of some of the elements in building a strong, harmonious, joyful, insightful Sangha, where the Dharma is present and the Buddha also present. I will write something on the board. So I will attempt, can you see from the back? I will attempt to draw some parallels between the monastic Sangha and the lay Sangha. But keep in mind that I put these not a solid line, and that is to demonstrate that there are connections and interbeing between the two. But we separate it just so that we can see, and so we can learn from each other. So as we all know, the essence of the Sangha, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Maybe I'll just leave it here. So the essence for a Sangha is harmony. And in the monastic tradition, we have the practice of the 6 harmonies. But in the lay, we might not need all of them, because one of them is to dwell together in one place, sharing dwelling. And in our Sangha, the lay Sangha, we all live separately in our own family, and so we come together, and we do share a space when we gather together. And it is, so we come in such a way that we can promote harmony when we are together. That's basically what it means. We do have some lay community like Morning Sun, where lay practitioners live together in one place. And so this teaching is very needed. But as for lay, some of the some of the 6 harmonies, some of the elements are such as harmonizing our views is one of them. And that can be challenging, but if we practice, we can arrive at harmony of views. Another one is to share insights, harmonizing our insights. And then one other one is practicing together the precepts of the mindfulness trainings. And harmonizing in this sense, meaning having discussions about them so that everyone's on the same page, with the same understanding, so that we can practice. And then the other element is for lack of a better word, I call it the backbone. Of the Sangha. And so like in the monastic Sangha, that will be our precepts or mindfulness trainings. We do have lay practitioners, so that will begin with, I'll just say precepts or mindfulness training. And the same is here. So for the monastic side, we have the 5 mindfulness training we recite every month. We have the 14 we recite every month. We also have the novice precepts, which we recite every 2 weeks. And we have the bhikshu, the bhikshuni's precepts, which we also recite every 2 weeks. So we had a little bit more than the lay community. For the lay community, you have usually the 5 mindfulness trainings, and then the 14 mindfulness trainings that you recite if not every 2 weeks, then once a month. There's also schedules. When we come together, we should have something to do. Even having tea could be doing something. So that includes schedule. And any guidelines particular to your needs and your Sangha's needs. I should start this by saying that organizing or building sanghas could be very simple or could be very complex. And usually it starts with simplicity and then it might grow more complex as the sangha grows, right? I think we are experiencing this. If you remember back, every time when Thay's on the teaching tour here, I remember at the end of every retreat, after the 5 mindfulness training transmission, Thay would encourage people to come to their environment, to come back home and create a sangha. You don't need to have any qualification. You just need to attend a retreat, experience transformation. I think probably one of the requirements, feeling nourished, and then it's very easy to want to continue that energy by bringing that home and create something so that you can continue to be nourished. And so that's all that's needed. I remember as a lay person learning a Plum Village practice, I also joined a lay sangha. And thanks to that lay sangha, I found my way to Plum Village eventually. And I remember my first encounter is through a friend. And then we remember going to someone's house, someone's living room. There were maybe 7 or 8 of us. And we sat in a circle in silence. We did slow walking in circles, maybe 3 times. We sat down and listened to like a cassette recording of Thay. At that point, I didn't know who he was. And then we had sort of discussion, sort of question if something we heard we didn't understand. And then a simple meal, a snack or something, have some tea. And that was it. There was no really organization or any role aside from the host that shared everything. And then, but as the Sangha grows, we know we need some structure so that things can flow. And so having a schedule of practice is very important. Otherwise, we just come together and just chit-chat the whole time. And so having a light schedule. Some Sanghas has Dharma sharing, has precept recitation, tea time or potluck. But structure, when we come together, we should have an agreement beforehand, what's going to happen from when to when, so that everybody is on the same board. Some tools. There are many tools that we can utilize to build Sangha, but I feel 2 of the most important ones are deep listening and loving speech. Deep listening and loving speech are basic tools where we communicate with one another. And it is a practice. And usually when we have retreats here for new people, and at the beginning of a Dharma sharing, we usually would share sort of like a format of what they expect. We usually would also share with them to apply those two practices in that setting. So when they speak, they practice using kind, loving speech. And when they listen, practice deep listening. It works. As you know, it can work wonders. Okay, so as a Sangha grows more, we need some structure. So on the monastic side, we have the caretaking council, we call the CTC. We have the Dharma teacher council, we call the DTC. We have some of our centers, we have Abbot, Abbess. And then the foundation of all of it are the community members. So all of the people in these area comes from this. They're this, but also they're this. So this is the foundation. And for the monasteries, that comprises of lay practitioners, those who stay here long-term with us. And if we have any novices, they're also part of that. Also, the fully ordained members, the bhikshus, the bhikshunis, and also the Dharma teachers. And the Dharma teachers are also from the pool of the bhikshus and bhikshunis. All of this you can find in a book called Joyfully Together. I would recommend, if you haven't read that, please go through that. Tay poured a lot of his heart into that book to share us how the techniques of how to build sanghas. The caretaking council, their duty is, well, first of all, they includes the representative of each of the segment of the sangha. At the monastery, an ideal monastery would have a member from the lay community in the CTC, a representative from the novice community, a representative from the bhikshuni community, and a representative from the Dharma Teacher Council in the CTC. This is the body that runs the Sangha. Carry out activities, daily activities, also carrying out the decisions made by the whole Sangha. And then the Dharma Teaching Council's main purpose is to create teaching practices, create methods of teaching, verifying retreat schedules. But they're actually, their primary function is to be responsible for the quality of the practice in the community. The abbot and the abbess role, thanks to these two groups, is lessened. The two main functions for the abbot or the abbess is to spend time to care for members, see how they're doing. Are they well, physically, mentally? And then the other one is to promote talents and skills. Some of us might be shy. We might be skilled at something, but we might be shy. And then the abbot and the abbess, by spending time, we'll be able to notice that and create condition for the talents or the skill to manifest in order to bring more joy to the Sangha. On the lay side, and depends, like I said, depends on how simple your Sangha is or how large the Sangha is. Some of these might be different, might look different. Some Sangha I know has a CTC. I don't know if some Sangha has a DTC, but you have like a Dharma teacher. You're lucky if you have more than one. But many of our Sangha have just like one Sangha, or some don't even have a Dharma teacher. And that's okay. You don't have an abbot or an abbess, because you're not a monastery. But this role can be played, I said can be played, not should be played. Can be played by your Dharma teacher or an elder in the community. Some Sanghas don't have Dharma teachers. That doesn't mean that you're not a Sangha. You're a Sangha nonetheless. And so whoever that's been there, that have experience, that person can take the role of the abbot or the abbess. And it's not the title again, it's the responsibility that one does. Caring for Sangha members, promoting talents. And so this is pretty, it depends on each Sangha. Some Sangha don't even have a CTC, and that's okay, you still function. But if you're a large group of people, it might be helpful to actually think about forming a caretaking council so that it can run the activities and do some logistical work. Some Sanghas don't even have, especially the new Sangha, they don't have OI members. And that's okay. They can still practice. What's important is there is dedication. And when you have a group of people coming together to dedicate, to create space to practice, they can become like what we call a core member of that Sangha. And they work from there. See people who are ripe for receiving the OI, suggest them. But say in a Sangha that has a group of OI members, then as we know, OI members are called core community. And so once you receive the ordination as an OI member, you're considered a core member. And the core member can be in the CTC to help run the Sangha. The Dharma teacher role is similar to the Dharma teacher in the monastic Sangha, and that is seeing the quality, assuring the quality of the practice in the Sangha. Sometimes you might need to be a reminder of what's happening, what should be going on. So you have a big role to play in the community, in the lay community. And sometimes that can be stressful. But that doesn't mean that you should take all that responsibility. It's okay to delegate. There are members in the Sangha who you see that could help you to delegate some work. And then the community, the base of it all, of course, are the members. And in the lay Sangha, you have new members, have not received the 5 trainings. And we have people who receive the 5 trainings, you have the OIs. And so this is your base. And we should create an atmosphere so everyone feels included and be able to voice, to share, to speak. So another element of building a Sangha is to have regular gathering. I know some Sangha meets once a week, some Sangha meets twice a month. And now we have online Sangha, sometimes they meet 5 nights or 5 days a week. So it depends on the needs of that community. But to function well and to grow, everyone needs to be on board, everyone needs to understand what is happening. And sometimes we have meetings. If you lived here at Blue Cliff for a longer period of time, you will know that we have a lot of meetings. We have CDC meeting if you're in the CDC. You have a Dharma teacher meeting if you're in the Dharma teacher council. And if you're a Dharma teacher and you're in the CTC, you go to both meetings. The Abbot and Abbess, of course. Sometimes they have to represent and they'll also be there. And then we have a community meeting. I know in some monasteries, all the monks and all the nuns meet together once a month or something. But here at Blue Cliff, we don't. We only meet together, both hamlets, when we have retreats, to organize a retreat. But we're quite autonomous. The brothers meet separately on the brother side, and the sister meets separately on the sister side. That we call it Bhikshu, Bhikshuni meetings. In the past, we don't have novices, and so they don't need to go to any of those meetings. I remember the time when I was a novice, it's most happy. You just need to practice. You don't have to worry about helping to run the monastery. You don't have to know any dramas. You just practice. It's so joyful. And so nowadays, when we began to have novices just in the last 6 months. And so I kept reminding, some of them are very enthusiastic. They want to know what's happening in the Bhikshu meeting. Can they join? And I said, no, don't. You will thank me in 3 years. Just enjoy your carefree life right now. It's like a teenager, or children. You don't have to worry about bills. But once you hit 18, and then you worry about bills. So the novice is like that. Once you receive the full ordination, you are required to go to the meeting. It's not an option anymore. And so right now, don't worry about it. But that doesn't mean that the novices don't have a voice. Our teacher very much encouraged all of our Sangha to, before we meet, we should make it known what the topics are about to be discussed. And then those who will not be able to join could offer their opinion. So in the monastery, the novice can voice their opinion, their suggestion through their mentor. And then the mentors will come to the meeting and share the view. And the mentor also can act as a gateway, because sometimes you have very wacky ideas. And then the mentor said, maybe we'll wait on this one. So as not to waste a lot of Sangha time just having 10 wacky ideas or something. It might be wacky for that moment, but it might be needed a year from now, for example. And so, but the point is to allow every member space and the opportunity to participate in the decision-making process. So I am not sure how that fans out in the lay community. You know your own Sangha. But the bottom line, I feel, again, is to create opportunities for people to share their concern, to share inputs. So when you come to a meeting, those things are spoken so that the Sangha is aware. And when we practice the harmonies of views, that is very, very, very important to understand and to hear from all sides. And then the Sangha, with the practice of Sangha eyes and Sangha ears, can make a decision, which would be more beneficial. One thing of caution is the Dharma teacher. If your Sangha only has one, there is a danger in that too much power might be given or placed upon that person. And then that person becomes the decision maker, and the Sangha is left out. So be on guard on that, and don't put that on your Dharma teacher. Always bring it back to the Sangha, to the community. And that danger can also lie with our abbess. So most of the decisions are made by the Sangha, by the community. In the monastic community, that is the body of the bhikshu and the bhikshuni community to make decision. I remember the abbot or abbess once in a while might have to intervene in that role if there is indecision. And our teacher also, at one point or another, also had to play that role. Often he would just be hands off. The Sangha would decide and he would follow. Sometimes he said, sometimes the decision I made and he disagreed with it, but he honors it. And that's a hard practice to do, because if we are our Dharma teacher, we might want to intervene. We might think that we know exactly what's the right answer, and the Sangha is leading us down the wrong path, for example. But just reflect and have trust. And the same thing for there's also a danger here, that when we have a Dharma teacher meeting, the things that we propose became decision before the whole Sangha is informed. And so we usually, the decision-making body is the bhikshu and the bhikshuni community. The Dharma teacher would be proposing, planning, guiding. And like for the lay members also, the decision should be discussed, or if there's an issue, it should be discussed here. If you have a core community, then that would be the decision-making body. Meaning, if your Sangha has a large group of OI members, I think minimum is 4 to make a Sangha. So make that a core group. Of course, when you have a new person came in just like a week, you can expect that person to be like a voting member. That person can share some opinion, but it shouldn't be involved in the process yet. Same thing if we have a novice. The novice can share his or her ideas, but not deciding, because they are not a fully ordained member. I hope that's not too much. We listen to a sound of the bell to let everything settle. So communication would be meetings. My handwriting is get progressively worse as we go down the board. So when we have meetings, practice this, of course. Deep listening and loving speech. But sometimes it might not work. Sometimes there might be some shouting or some angry words exchanged. Some conflicts arise. And so we have to employ other practices. I just say in general issues. We have a personal practice that we should get back to. We have beginning anew. We have tea sessions, etc. There are many practices. And I think it's similar on this side. Personal practices, beginning anew, tea. In my experience in the monastery, many issues, many conflicts got resolved during tea sessions. So we have a lot of tea sessions. Sometimes if I am angry at a brother for something, and just to be able to sit down and have some tea with him without even addressing the issue, it just get resolved. Because we're able to look at each other and enjoy a cup of tea. Each of us realize that our relationship is so much more precious than what is happening between us. And so don't underestimate tea sessions. They can work wonders. Personal practice. Sometimes we might be too enthusiastic about building sanga, about planning, organizing. We neglect our practice. Our steps are quickened, our mind runs. And then, of course, we run into conflicts. And so we come back to the basic practice. It is said so in the 14 mindfulness trainings. When we're angry, don't react. Just go take a walk. That's what it means. Come back to your own practice to take care of yourself. And then we have beginning anew. Of course, we begin it with ourselves. Begin anew with ourselves first. And then we go to the other person. And if that still doesn't work, we ask the Sangha to be present. We know all this. Some of the personal practices can comprise of like taking a meditative walk in the woods. Some people like to do sitting meditation. Some people like to practice touching the earth. Some people like to chant sutra. Some like to listen to Thai's talks. So any of these means to help us to touch our essence, to touch our aspiration. Why did I come to the Sangha in the first place? What is that? What does the Sangha mean to me? So, as with any organizations, we cannot avoid having conflicts, issues, but in our community, Thai has taught us ways and methods of transforming them. Using some of these practices, but especially this. And so when we build, so this is just like an outline. Don't think this is like set in stone. Each of our community is different. Each of our Sangha is because of the needs, because of the conditions that we have. It could be different. It could look different. So these are just some suggestions for us to use. And please know that having a Sangha to receive support from and also to offer support is a very good condition for us to practice. And you know, Thầy has always emphasized Sangha building. It's okay to practice by oneself, alone, but it's so much better to practice with others and to open up and to share. I know in some there are some of us who felt like once we create a Sangha, a group of like-minded individuals that practice together, having the same aspiration, we think that's enough, and we close our doors. We don't offer opportunity for others to join, and that is a misfortune for us. Some of us might, let me rephrase this as a suggestion. If your members have children, please brainstorm, please create conditions for the children to be present when you gather for the practice. Don't think that, oh, this is mommy's practice, this is daddy's practice. Find the babysitter, and then go do your thing and then go back to your family. Thầy has always taught us the Sangha should be practiced in a family style. And so, yeah, if your Sangha members have children or even teens, of course we don't want to force them to come, but create conditions so they can be present. And they can benefit from the calm, the kind energy of the practitioners. And that's also how we transmit to the next generation, so that they can continue to be nourished and also to nourish others. So come back to your Sangha and have a discussion, if you haven't already, of finding ways to create more doorways into the Sangha. Don't be afraid that you have to train new people. Don't be afraid that you will be diluted. If there's enough of strong core members, you will be a force of flow, and those who come in will flow with you. But if you're stagnant, the newcomers will affect you, will influence you. But create a force, create a flow together, a strong current, and everybody who comes will just follow you. And especially young people and children, please make it possible for them to join. You know, we have wake-up sanghas in many places. And if the all-age sanghas, have you connected with them? Have you invited them to come? And vice versa. Build connections. We need more wake-up people in the order. I know there are efforts being done out there to mentor wake-uppers, both in the States and in Canada, to bringing young people into the order. That is so much needed if we want our order to continue. It's going to be in its 60th year next year. The order is getting old, 60. So please contemplate, find ways, inviting young people to come to the Sangha, creating spaces, days of mindfulness, a picnic, an outing, and invite young people, if you have a young wake-up Sangha nearby, to join. And vice versa, young people, when wake-uppers, if you create a picnic or something, see if you can remember your elders in the all age groups to support you and to be present. We need each other. We need each other. Let us enjoy another sound of the bell. there was also an account of a story in the Buddha's life that one king, King Pasenajit, one day told the Buddha, "Dear teacher, when I look at your sangha, when I look at your community, I have so much respect. I have so much gratitude for you. That is an indirect way of praising, I think, praising the Buddha. Is that the Sangha is a work of art of the Buddha. And we are the work of art of our teacher. And we know that our teacher values non-violence, values harmony, values togetherness. So let us uphold those values. Let us practice in such a way that we increase love in our Sangha, we increase understanding, we increase tolerance, we increase acceptance, a dose of joy, gratitude. So all of these elements are needed in building a Sangha. And if there is a need to start a new Sangha, to branch out, please don't be afraid to do so. Growth can take some pain. And some of us might be apprehensive about having maybe a new group sprouting up near us. We might feel defensive. Is this dividing my Sangha, or is this taking over my influence, etc.? Smile at those things and let them go. We need more Sanghas. We need more communities of practice everywhere. There are two lines in the praising the Bodhisattva that we heard chanting this morning. The Bodhisattva of great compassion. Her willow branch, once waved, reveals countless Buddha lands. Her lotus flower blossoms, a multitude of practice centers. Every time I heard this chant, or I chant this one, I can't help but imagining, just visualizing what it says there. The Sanghas are practice centers. The Sanghas locations are the Buddha lands, if there are practice, if there are precepts being practiced. And so when we form Sanghas, we're manifesting the Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara's vow is to create new centers. Because imagine her willow branch spread out, and then everything becomes Buddha lands. And then the flower, lotus flower blossoms into a practice center. We can't just have one lotus. We need to have many lotuses. We need to have many practice centers. And so don't be afraid. But instead, if you heard there's a group that's forming, especially if young people are forming a wake up, come and ask if they need any support. And offer support, offer your guidance. And again, we need more Dharma teachers. If you see that around you, in your area, we have so few. Canada, you just had only 2 this year. I know you have a number in the past, but it's been a long time, especially in the Vietnamese Sangha. I know that there are OI members who have been there for 15, 20 years. And there was like one Sangha, I think that's all the members, they're all OI members. And they practice pretty well the CTC, they call it a different name. But they do CTC work. But I think they have like a couple of Dharma teachers who has been Dharma teacher for like, I would say 10, 15 years, and no continuation. So please look into this and encourage more people to train and to become Dharma teachers to help. I would like to end here and by reciting again the chant, praising the Bodhisattva with compassion for you. But before I read that, just one last note is in your walking meditation today, please enjoy your steps. Please enjoy the surrounding. Blue Cliff is in bloom just for you. Last week, or maybe 10 days ago, we still had snow. But spring is present everywhere, and I apologize for those of you who have allergies. If you need to wear your face masks, I try not to praise spring so much because I know it brings some pain to some of you because of the allergens in the air. But in your steps today, practice kissing Mother Earth with gentle steps. Enjoy the present moment. Enjoy being on the grounds of Blue Cliff. And also, practice walking for those who are not able to be here. Walk for Joanne Friday. Walk for Bob Taylor. Walk for those of you in your those in your sangha that would like to be here, and I'm sure they are here. And so bring them to mind as you walk, so that you and them can enjoy the present moment together. Okay, praising the Bodhisattva of great compassion. And I apologize, I didn't give this Vietnamese translation to our translator. I'll read in Vietnamese first, and I'll read it in English for you. Và đây là bài Tán Dương Quan Âm. Trí tuệ bừng lên đóa biện tài, đứng yên trên sóng sạch trần ai. Cam lộ chữa lành cơn khổ bệnh, hào quang quét sạch bụi nguy tai. Liệu biết phất bày muôn thế giới, sen hồng nở hé vạn lâu đài. Cúi đầu ca ngợi dân hương thịnh, xin nguyện từ bi ứng hiện ngay. Nam mô Bồ Tát lắng nghe Quan Thế Âm. From the depth of understanding, the flower of great eloquence blooms. The Bodhisattva stands majestically upon the waves of birth and death, free from all afflictions. Her great compassion eliminates all sickness, even that once thought of as incurable. Her wondrous light sweeps away all obstacles and dangers. Her willow branch once waved reveals countless Buddha lands. Her lotus flower blossoms a multitude of practice centers. We bow to her. We see her true presence in the here and now. We offer her the incense of our heart. May the Bodhisattva of deep listening embrace us all with great compassion. Namo Avalokiteshvaraya. Thank you. Just take a moment to give yourself a massage as we listen to some announcements.